Okay, Erica just said we're talking about ants today, but please let it not be like the creepy crawly kind. I can't deal with that today.
No, creepy crawly maybe, but ants in your brain. So automatic negative thoughts.
Okay, let's get into it.
Okay.
Welcome to It's a Mental Thing, the podcast that dives deep into the power of the mind and the heart of mental health. Whether you're navigating life's challenges, seeking balance, or simply curious about how to care for your mind, you're in the right place. Each week, we explore stories, strategies, and expert insights to help you build resilience, find clarity, and embrace a healthier you. So take a deep breath and let's journey together toward a brighter, more mindful tomorrow. Welcome to It's a Mental Thing, because your mental health matters.
Okay, Erica, so automatic negative thoughts, or ANTS, as you like to call them, right?
Yes.
What do you mean by that, though?
Okay, so if we're real, we all have negative thoughts.
Yeah.
Whether it's about how we look, what our house looks like, what he or she has that we don't. So we have these negative thought patterns.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has that. But again, looking at research and what I wanted to write to tell our viewers, if they've never had therapy before, or if they've wondered why they're always so negative, I wanted to let them know a little bit of coping skills that can help kind of redirect negative thought patterns.
Yeah, I mean, we all, I think, like you said, we're all having them about what have you, right?
And it's a thought pattern, you know?
Sure. And then I can think of people who are extremely negative, and it's just, I mean, different levels of it, I'm sure. Varying levels of it, but how are we coping with that? Like if I'm coming to a therapist, I don't know, and I've told you this too, like sometimes I feel like, well, I don't really feel like my problems are big enough. Maybe I'm a little negative. Maybe I'm having some negative thoughts, but like, I don't really think I need to speak to a therapist about it, right? Like, why do I feel like that?
Right.
Why do I feel like my problem isn't big enough?
It's, so many people have different ideas of what therapy is. Mm-hmm. I have patients often that will sit in the chair in front of me and will ask, I don't feel like I should be here.
Yeah.
And that's okay. The first session usually is the scariest because you're not sure what to expect.
Right.
What am I going to learn about myself? Am I going to like this therapist? Are we going to be a good fit? All of that's very normal. Mm-hmm. But everyone, let me say this, everyone deserves a therapist. Everyone can have a therapist.
Yeah.
You don't have to be bad or good or have bad things going on in life always to have a therapist. Mm-hmm. A therapist is just someone who's non-judgmental, non-biased party that is on your team, that is there to help support you live a healthier life and to have different thought patterns.
Yes.
So that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
And the ANTS, the automatic negative thoughts, it's called automatic negative thoughts for a reason, because we automatically go to negative thought patterns, catastrophic thought patterns. How many times have you ever thought, oh, so-and-so didn't answer the phone, something must be wrong?
Car wreck, worst case scenario, fell off a bridge, all of it.
Absolutely. It's a catastrophic thought.
Yeah.
And it's an intrusive thought. Mm-hmm. But everyone has had some kind of thought that way. And again, it's how our brain is wired. It doesn't make us crazy. It does. People think that that's what this means, and it isn't. It's just, we are human beings.
Yeah.
We are not these things or robots that are wired in a certain way to be programmed to be positive all the time. And we live in a tricky world. So it's easy to be anxious and to have these intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
So some of the things that I tell my clients, the very first thing is to, when that alarm goes off or when it's time for the morning and the day to start, to roll out of bed before your feet touch the ground. If you're religious, say a prayer. If you aren't, that's okay too. Have gratitude, but also say to yourself, today's going to be a good day. And not just to yourself. So say it to yourself first and then say it out loud. Now, you don't have to yell it out loud. You don't have to say it in front of people, but enough to say, today's going to be a good day. And when you say that, what's happening to your brain is your subconscious mind is saying, today's going to be a good day. And you've gotten your brain already thinking, whatever's coming my way, I've already told myself today's going to be a good day. So that's the first coping skill. The next one is you want to make sure that if you are looking at things through a negative lens, everything is going to seem off.
Yeah.
And you don't think there's anything positive to look forward to. But by saying today's going to be a good day, just by starting your day, you're setting yourself up and your brain up to look forward to today.
Yeah.
You know, not yesterday, not what the future is, but just today, because that's all we have. It's actually been proven, new studies show that people who are constantly negative, and we know those people, there are negative Nancys out there everywhere, their brain scans show that their prefrontal cortex doesn't have as much activity.
Wow.
That actually is functioning because of the negativity that's in their brain. Now, that is kind of outside of my scope of practice, but in research.
But it's clearly affecting us then, like not just being a mean person or whatever it is, like it's affecting us mentally, physically.
Yeah.
Right?
Think about it. Like, have you ever walked into a room and there's just one negative person and you feel it, like you know it, and it changes your mood too.
Yeah. It can bring the whole room down.
Yeah. And it changes how you act. It changes how you feel about yourself when all it takes is to be kind, and for even that negative person, or if you're feeling negative that day, to have a sense of gratitude.
Yeah.
Which is another coping skill that I offer to patients. Is I call it a one-page miracle. It's not a miracle working magic trick.
Yeah.
However, what I like for patients to do, so if you've never been in therapy, try this. I don't know if you're a writer, or if you don't like to write, maybe you could put it in your notes, like in your phone. Like I do bullet points. But what I like for them to do is, on this one-page miracle, one page, I want you to write out everything that you want for yourself and for your life.
Okay.
And when you do that, again, whether it's bullets on your phone, whether it's pencil to paper, that statistically in research has been shown to be better to put pencil on paper. But if you're going to do it on your phone, you've got your bullet points and you've got this one page of what you want. Not what your friend wants for you, not what your spouse wants for you, not what anybody else in your life from your past or your future or your present, whoever, but what you want. So what we're wanting to do here is practicing, is my behavior equaling out what I want out of life? Or is my behavior getting me what I want in life? So for example, I was sharing with you, like, I've had anxiety and panic since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And comes from, I did not have a traumatic childhood, but I didn't have your typical childhood growing up, which is fine because a lot of kids have gone through things. And growing up, we grew up way in a different world than what our kids are going up in now. But if back when I was 10, if I were to write a miracle of the things I wanted versus what my behavior was showing, my behavior was a very anxious kid, young adult, 30s, who was afraid of new things. But what I would want may show, I want to travel the world.
Yeah.
I want to be the best, or try to be the best therapist and helper I can be. I want to be the best friend and spouse and mom I can be. But my behaviors were showing fear, uncertainty, alone, rejection, abandonment. So do you see how different those things are? So when you write your miracle page, you're writing what I want. Like, what does Nicole want in life? Out of yourself. I want to be proud of myself. I want to feel fulfilled. But are my behaviors matching that?
Right.
So does that make sense to you at all? Like, hearing it from the outside?
It actually does, because then it makes me take a step back to say, okay, here's what I want.
Right.
But I'm not getting there because of my behaviors.
Right.
So then we've got to figure out a way to mesh the two, right?
Right.
And so for me, I didn't specifically write that page out, but for me, when I realized that my behaviors were not matching up with how I was needing my life to go, is when I decided, okay, I need to speak with someone.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a huge traumatic event that I had, and I didn't have a traumatic childhood. It wasn't anything like that. But there were thoughts coming into my head that were not pushing me forward in life anymore. In fact, I feel like it was dragging me down.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided, let's seek help. Let's just find somebody to talk this through with.
Right.
That can give me these coping skills, these practical skills, right?
Yeah.
And they're simple. And sometimes you just, like, I think sometimes when you're listening to it or hearing it, you're just like, I mean, like, writing down something is not going to help me. But
it's so cliche for a therapist.
It does,
yes.
though. It does. And I think you kind of giving these snippets to us of like, I know you're going through this right now, right? Like, we know you're having these negative thoughts. And if you're coming to see a therapist, these are some of the things that you're going to hear and talk through, and it's going to help.
Yeah. It's, I tell clients all the time, it's so cliche for a therapist to say, do you like to journal? And, if my client or patient doesn't want to journal, I'm not going to make them journal, which is why I say, well, how often are you on your phone?
Yeah.
We all can pull up our bullet points and see how many things are on our phone. And we can bullet point, I'm thankful for this. I want to do this. That's easy. So I'm not going to sit and make clients do things that they know they don't like. However, you're the client. You get to tell me, I'm not really a writer. I don't like to write things down. So we figure out what would work.
Yep.
And so you say that it's only these thoughts in my head, which are those automatic negative thoughts that we were talking about, that creep in, and we go into catastrophic thinking, and we go into intrusive thinking. We go into worst case scenario thinking. But if we start our day with, today is going to be a good day. Our brain is a very powerful thing, but we can trick our brain. So our subconscious mind is looking for things that are good because we've already told it. First thing, hey, today's going to be a good day. And even if it isn't, if things are going wrong or we feel anxious or something negative does happen, our brain is still looking for something that's positive.
Right.
Okay. So the negatives can creep in, but we do not have to let them control us. We get to control it. And, I shared with you earlier offset that in the last 4 years, through therapy, through psychiatry, I've realized what my root cause of my anxiety and panic is, and it's fear. And so fear of my negative thoughts, fear of what I'm afraid of having no control. That's another thing.
Yes.
If I don't have control of this situation, I feel out of control and panicked. But when you step out of that fear and you still do it, I never in a million years thought I would be doing things that I'm doing now.
Right.
To pursue dreams, to chase goals, to help people, to advocate. Never. And to be able to do that is not only liberating and freeing, but also I'm so proud of Erica and little Erica that would be in the corner,
Right.
afraid. That was that behavior that we were talking about earlier. But to sit here and tell you that happened overnight isn't true. It took practice. It took therapy. It took psychiatry. It took writing down what I want for myself and stepping out in that fear and saying to these negative thoughts, oh, no, not today. I don't have time for that thought today. But then I'm telling my brain what I want, and what I don't want is the negative thought.
Yeah.
But I'm able to do that. You're able to do that. You're able to do that, to say, I don't have time for this, so I'm going to go on about my day.
Yep.
And that's what we can do, all of us.
I love it. Today's going to be a good day, guys.
Be sure to follow our podcast on your favorite platform or find us on YouTube. Just a quick note. If you're facing a mental health challenge, we encourage you to seek help from a licensed therapist like Erica or a healthcare provider. Remember, your well-being is personal, and only a professional can provide guidance tailored to your unique needs.